Hey guys, welcome again to the Achievers Part. On this podcast, we share with you tips, resources to help you achieve success in all that you do. And we are so grateful that in this new season, we are bringing to you women, experts in their field to kind of share their journey with us, to share their success stories, and so that we can learn one or two things from them. And so today I am so excited because we have a big mama in the house, they call her the International Slim Mama. And this is actually somebody you've seen her somewhere, you follow one of her pages. She is so full of energy and really she will make you so laugh that you forget what is going on with you. And I remember when I came across her channel. I'm like, what? This is amazing. I mean, she had that little twist of entertainment to it, and it's just so fun. And I am so honored that we have in the house, in the studio to this day. We call her the International Slim Mama, but that is a Beverly Adaeze, and she's a social media influencer. She's a content creator, an entertainer, a stylist. All of these beautiful things combined together. And also, she is the host of a podcast, No Longer Rugged. And I'm so grateful that we have her in the house. All right, so I'm super grateful. It's gonna be a great time. So grab your seat, grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you want to grab, and let us welcome Beverly in the house.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We are so honored to have you. I always love your energy, making us smile. That is
Thank you.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we get started, I would just like you to kind of share a little bit with people to kind of get to know more about you. Like I said, people may have seen you somewhere, may have seen your skit, they may have heard your voice, but please, if you can just like, in few seconds, just kind of introduce yourself and just share a little bit about you.
Yeah, like you said, my name is Beverly Adaeze. My family calls me Adaeze, so either one is fine. I started creating around maybe 2018, just from me just, being bored and having ideas. I kind
Mm,
of when I was in university, I helped with like the African Student Organization. So with like their skits, and I just realized, I enjoyed doing it. And so once I started doing it, I saw that people could relate to it. And
mm.
then, from there, God will just bless me with different ideas and just at random moments. And I'll be like, you know what? I want to bring this to life. And so to see how it has really grown is like, if you would have told me back then, it would have been like, ah, I said, my sister, please don't tell it. So it's been a blessing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I think that is one of the things when people kind of either they love an idea, they love a passion, and just kind of take it from there. And so you just say like, you know what, I can do this, and then you just started, and
Yeah.
then here you are today, being a big influencer, being somebody who really empower women from every walk of life. So I really want to kind of just share, you do all these kits and you do the different things, some of your successes, with us. What have been some moment you in your journey, in your career that will be like, wow, this is huge for me.
Wow. I think we'll bring it back to like hosting. First of all, social media opened the door for me to
Mm,
be able to host. Funny enough, before social media, sometimes people forget that I'm actually a licensed hairstylist. Now, I no longer take clients behind the chair anymore, but that was
mm,
like that was my thing,
mm,
after college. And so what was interesting was I was kind of doing both at the same time. And I had the idea of like, I feel like I can do wedding, I can do the
mm,
whole thing. You don't really see too many female MCs. And so when I would post and I would put, wedding MC, hashtag wedding MC, right? I was
mm,
still doing hair, but I would put that as well. Not really knowing what it entails, but I'm like, you know what? I feel like I can do it, right?
mm.
Just to talk and.
Uh-huh.
So this lady actually booked me to do her hair for her wedding day. I was doing bridal hair. And then she goes on social media and she's, looking for MCs and she found my hashtag and she was just like, hey, why don't you just
Mm.
do it? That was my first ever wedding. I did hair and I was the MC.
MC. Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
I was so nervous. And you know what's crazy? I'm a perfectionist. And so after that event, because I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing. I would study and all that stuff. But the perfectionist in me was like focusing on what I could have done better, as
Mm.
opposed to being like, listen, you put yourself out there, you did this. And so I remember that wedding. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I don't want to take a picture. Even though the bride was like, you did so well,
Mm.
that's alcohol in her system. So, but I got in my car, I drove, I got to a stoplight, and the Holy Spirit told me to turn back around, go in that venue, take a picture.
Picture.
So I was obedient to that, went in there, took a picture with the bride and groom, posted that on my social media. And that was really the beginning of
Wow.
hosting. Once one person sees that, they're like, hey, can you host? And so for me to almost not, even consider taking that picture,
Picture.
now, I've done weddings in London. I've done weddings. I have one coming up in Australia, and an inquiry from Canada. And so it's a blessing to see just what obedience can do.
Wow, wow. And I really love, when you share that you put yourself out there. And
Yeah.
sometimes maybe like an uncharted territory, but with the courage and just say, you know what? Why don't I just dive in and just give it a try? And then you did, and it's like from one door, another door opens. And I really just want you to really share because I know, like you said, I mean, you were nervous, being that this is the first time you were
Man.
doing that, actually to the point that you really do not want to take picture with them, like, no, let me just run away. But
Yeah.
the bride validating what you have,
Right.
validating your skill. So I really just want to share that moment with us because sometimes, as women, as people, we kind of put ourselves into this environment and think probably that we are not enough. But then you put yourself out there, somebody saw that you did a great job, validate that, and you were able to kind of leverage on that. So how was that for you, being able to something you've never done before, just trying it and then you did it? Just kind of diving a little bit into that and just
Yeah.
share with other people how that can help them to kind of probably launch their career in that way.
I consider myself a recovering perfectionist, right? Because naturally, you just want to, it's like you want to do something once and you expect it to be, oh, the best
Mm,
MC the world has ever seen, but it's like you don't know what you don't know.
mm,
And the only way to become better at something is you have to do it. And I feel like that's why Nike has
mm.
one of the best slogans, just
Good.
do it. Sometimes you'll be sitting back, I can sit back and study MCs, I can sit back and study. So, all
Mm,
these people. So, but if I don't do it, I'm not going to know the areas that I can improve. Right. So after that wedding, actually what I did was like, I was like, I believe I can do this, but I also need like the practical tools on how to become better. So I actually purchased a book. The book is here somewhere. It's called Speak with No Fear.
mm,
And so by getting this tool and reading this book, it allowed me to be like, okay, it helped me to prepare to be the best version of myself for these weddings.
mm.
And with every single wedding that you do, you learn like, okay, I really did this. This was really good when I did that or when I said this. But this area, okay, I can kind of tweak this a little bit.
The
You
best.
do another one, you become better. You have to do it. That's what experience does. And so people that are they're afraid to jump in because they're looking at someone. I've been doing weddings maybe 2019. They're looking at someone like me, or someone that's been doing it for 20 years and they're feeling discouraged. You're not even in
You
year one. You
started
have
like
to even start. You have to give yourself grace and start small. That's really it.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Start small. And like you said, until you actually take the first step, you wouldn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
You may, no matter how much you read, no matter how much you study other people, until you actually do it, that is when you kind of get a feel for it. And I like the fact that you say that you did it the first time you did, and then you kind of like, what else do I need to do to better myself? For so
Yeah.
that at least when I do the next MC, when I host the next event, that I'm better than
Yeah.
do what I did before. And I think that is huge. And I really want you to speak to that because sometimes um people, we believe that, okay, maybe we are skilled or we are this, and then we think our way is the only way. We are not open to either learning, to either getting better. I want to kind of share how that really has changed things for you as well. Not just going, okay, I did it for that, it's okay, but now let me equip myself so I can do better and better and better, and the importance of that.
Yeah, I think just being teachable is
Hmm.
one of the best things in life. Like I call myself, I'm a student of life, you know. So,
Being
so
teachable.
even if I've been doing this for years, or even like let's say with hairstyling, right? Okay, I've been doing it for years. There's always something that I can improve, and you have to be open to that because I feel like sometimes when you're not open to learning new things and improving, you
Hmm.
know, you can be left behind because the world is constantly moving and changing.
Moving, yeah.
So you have to have a teachable spirit and not to be prideful to feel like, oh, I have everything. I don't need anybody to. No, be teachable because sometimes you can even learn. I can even learn something from an MC of 2 years. You never know. You know, again, your personality is your personality. It's not like you're trying to, you know,
Copy
but
somebody.
you can
Mhm.
learn from anybody. So you have to be teachable.
Be teachable, and I think it cut across every profession, every career, that being teachable, being open to learning more, and being open to become better at what you do. So now, my next question that I really want us to dive into, because we're a professional hairstylist, right? So when do you get to the point that, okay, now I have to shift away from this and focus on Austin? So when do
Mhm.
you get to that point, or what are like the things that help you to make that conclusion that it is time to step away from this and just focus on this?
Yeah, I think the same way that life has seasons.
Life
So
has seasons. Life has seasons, guys. I don't know
yeah,
which season you are right now, but she said life has seasons. All
right.
right.
So when I transitioned from hair, I really feel like the Lord was telling me to work on another goal, which actually has nothing to do with hosting or content. So really the reason why I was like, you know, I like you feel it in your spirit that it's time
Hmm.
to transition. Although I have a love for hair. I've been doing hair since I was 11 years old. I have a love for it. I will always be a hairstylist at heart, even when I'm 80,
Hmm.
right? But now it's in a different way, you know. So I'm not behind the chair. I still love the art, but it was
Hmm.
just time to transition. You know, I was kind of getting burnt out, you know, stressed and all that stuff. And so I pivoted into this new season and I'm like, okay, you know, God has blessed me with this platform. Let me work it. Let me really learn how to work it, learn the business side of it.
Hmm.
And then who knows, I made transition, which I do plan on, you know, after a while of doing weddings, you know, I made transition to hosting on different other stages. You know,
Hmm.
you'll pivot. I don't see myself hosting weddings for 20 something years, you know.
Hmm.
In the season that I'm in, I want to enjoy it and make the most of it until I get that feeling that okay, it's kind of time to pivot and let's move on to something else. I think our the way we were programmed, especially people back in the day, they didn't really pivot. They would stay at a job for 40, 50 years,
Yes.
you know,
Hmm.
and give
And
themselves.
sometimes they can be miserable too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow. I mean, and I think that is amazing, is to really kind of understand the season you are in, and to be able to be sensitive enough, and also to be bold enough to actually take the next step. Um, and that is, I really love the way you said it, because I mean that they can't take that away from you. Being a stylist, that is an heart that you have. It cannot be taken away from you. But then it's just understanding that, you know what, in this season of my life, it is okay to try something new. It is okay to
uh-huh.
go into this. So I really want you to kind of share what are some of the struggles that you kind of encounter when you are making that transitioning, because I can believe that it's not easy to just say, you know what, I am doing this. So what are some of the challenges you encounter? What are some of the, the roadblock that you eat on the way? And how you were able to navigate around that. And especially, we're talking about hosting, creating content, and all of that. So how were you able to navigate and move past, those stubborn blocks along your way?
I think hair was just all I knew. It's something I could count on. I knew that as soon as I opened up my books, I was gonna get X amount of, but it was predictable, right?
Predictable.
It was also stable because my business was good. You know, my gift was color, especially color in African, you know, our texture
Mm-hmm.
hair, and you really didn't have that. There are not too many people that do that and do that well. So I had to give up that stability and that like predictability.
Mm.
And so it was tough because when you do this, you know, social media stuff along with hosting, it's more of like, you know, gig work. And so you really, there's some times where I would get a brand deal that can like, it was great. And
Mm.
then another month there was no
Not
brand
nothing. Mm-hmm.
deal. And so you have to really, and then, you know, you have wedding seasons. I feel like now until the end of the year, after May is wedding season.
Yeah.
After that, you don't really, you know, so it's, you give up that stability and predictability and you're just like, okay, God, well, you know, I keep doing what I know to do in terms of, you know, creating my stuff out there, putting my stuff out there, and until it's time to move on to the next thing.
Wow. Thank you for sharing there. And because a lot of people, and especially in this side of the world that we are, especially here in the United States, a lot of people are so really because we love the stability of the income, especially. And I use this environment because the way things kind of run here, it's like the bills and everything is like on a monthly basis. So you need that consistent flow of cash. You need that
Mm-hmm.
stability. You need that predictability to kind of know, okay, how much is coming this month? Will that be able to pay my bills? But then seeing that, you know what? I can do more than that if I dive into this. The structure might not be the same, the consistency might not be there, but then if I do X and Y, then I'm able to achieve that goal. So
Mm-hmm.
now I want you to really talk about, are you able to scale? Because you started with one client that you host, and are you able to scale from that? Are you able to build that and grow that when you kind of like stepping away from your styling into the, how are you able, um what are some of the ways you do to really be able to say, you know what, I need to meet more clients, I need to do more bookings, I need to be able to have more income? How are you able to do that?
I do that with marketing myself and using my own platform. That's the thing.
Mm.
Not that I will never, I'll pay for marketing sometimes if I'm running an ad or something, but I'm blessed with a platform where I can market myself. Like
Ooh.
that, because marketing is what I do now. I switched from hair styling to marketing. I market for other companies, but I have to bet on myself and I market on myself. That's why I like to have people join me in my journey. I'm like, oh, let's go host this wedding and all that. And yes, I'm telling a story and I'm even encouraging other MCs and, you know, female MC, but it acts as a way for people to really see the behind the scenes. And, you know, they trust me. They're like, hey, I want her to host my wedding. You know, she's
Mm-hmm.
personable, she's this. And then also with creating, you know, just keep creating and also looking for avenues to create those passive streams of income. Like right after this, I'm going to be recording, batch recording. I'm going to send it to my assistant to edit, just so that in the meantime, in between time, I'm always creating something encouraging, speaking, making somebody laugh. And then you put that up, and those also act as your passive streams of income while you work on your main, you know, your main sources and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it so fluently. I mean, like, you don't wait till the next one, but in between, you are constantly putting yourself out there. You are constantly kind of putting information out there, marketing yourself. And like you said, though you market for others, but you have to bet on yourself first. You have to
Yeah.
do a good job on that. So I really just want you to kind of share with people watching all of that, like how can we get to that point of you actually being the face, of what you do, putting yourself out there? What are the things they need to know? How do they do it? So can you really share a little bit into that?
What I've learned, like I think before I really, you know, let go of the hair thing, that was my main thing. So social media, I would just kind of do it, you know, whenever I had time and all that. And
Mm.
so now I think you just have to be more strategic. So time management is something that I am just really
Mm.
trying to study and have it down. You know, I've done this thing where I'm like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I take my call. I have to really schedule my life.
Like,
And even, you know, also making sure to take care of my body as well. That's one thing that's priority. But let's
mm-hmm.
say I've chosen that Thursdays will be the day where I just record a whole bunch of stuff,
So,
just as much as I can. And then luckily I'm able to delegate. I think delegating also helps me personally,
Hmm.
but trying to wear all these hats
Hats.
and, trying to do record and also edit and also it's a lot. So whatever I can delegate, thank God that I have a great virtual assistant. I can have her answer my emails. Personally, I don't like emails, so I pay someone to answer my emails for me so that I don't miss anything because it's a lot. And the time that I can be using to answer this email and create, I can be using it to create something else and, delegate. And so that way I don't feel like there's just it becomes overwhelming because you'll burn out.
Hmm.
So I have my days. I'm like, hey, this is the day I record everything. I send it over. On these days we do revision. I also need time, my weekends to where I have to, as an entrepreneur, I have to force myself to relax,
Hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
rest, because if I'm constantly on go, I'm gonna burn myself out. And so it energizes me to come back in the week and then do it all over again. And so being strategic, if I know that I'm traveling, okay, what do I want to record at the airport? I write it down in my notes. Normally when I'm on a flight, the items that I don't send to my virtual assistant to edit, I'll edit myself. I think being on an airplane is the best way because you don't really have any internet, you don't have any distractions.
Exactly.
The purchase internet, but I use it as my time of editing. I just edit.
Editing.
And so delegation, time management, and just having structure has really, really helped me.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And few things that I really picked out from what you said. And I think everyone starting out there that really wants to be successful, these are the things that they can actually utilize. You talk about, you planning, have a strategy and then you planning your week, which is very good. Like you have days that these days are the days that I do my recordings. These are the days I do this. And also you talk, and I think that really helps with your time management as well. Because once you know what you're doing ahead of time, it kind of helps you to make better use of your time. And then you talk about delegating, because and I know like as an entrepreneur, sometimes we want to do all things and be all things for everybody. But then you have to know that you cannot do that or else you're going to break down one day. So, but you're able to kind of take some of those tasks and delegate to your assistant to say, okay, you handle this. Why I focus more on this?
Yes. Produce.
And so thank you. I mean, that is, and then you talk about self-care, which is very, very important because like as women, sometimes we have all this energy and we feel like let us just continue to go, to go, to go, to go and non-stop. But you're talking about you after every week, either the weekend, whichever day of the week you choose to be able to wind down, to be able to take care of this body that is involved in all of these things, creating this, doing this, and all of that. So the following week, you have the energy for another week.
Mhm.
Okay, so I really, we're going to be wrapping up very soon. So I really want you to kind of give some advice, to upcoming businesswoman, upcoming content creator, people that want to enter into that space. So can you just share some tips with them, how to get started, they need to focus on, or those who already started and kind of like things are not going the way they really want it to be? What are some advice you can give to them?
I think the first thing that always comes to mind is to be your authentic self. Be
Hmm.
your, don't look at, oh, this person is doing this. They're doing all this comedy. Let me do comedy. If that's not your gift, you're gonna look crazy doing it.
Hmm.
So, what is that thing that you're naturally inclined to do? It comes easy for you. Is it fashion? Is it makeup? Is it, is it, let's say you like to travel and you like to explore? Whatever that thing is, whatever you have, is it that you know how to organize? You're very organized. That can even be something that you can use to really
Hmm.
inspire people. Be your authentic self. And then again, bet on yourself, right? And trust that, okay, and I'm speaking as a believer. For me, I'm trusting that whatever God has given me, I want to use it to glorify God,
Hmm.
right? And so just doing it with excellence and doing it to the glory of God and not feeling pressured, because there was a time where I felt like, I was doing this comedy stuff and people were like, girl, you need to be, monetizing it. And I didn't even know about all this stuff back then, because remember, I had my own business as a hairstylist and
Mm-hmm.
my social media was booming, but I felt under that pressure and I was like, maybe I should not do the comedy stuff as much. Maybe I should go into beauty and, do makeup and fashion. Me that I don't even know how to put one cloth and one jean together. I'm still learning. So, but I felt pressure because you're seeing all these other platforms. They look aesthetically pleasing, and
Hmm.
you're like, man, maybe I need to do that so that I can monetize. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be monetized because it takes time to create stuff and put it out there. But let me do it in my own authentic way. That's
Hmm.
being funny, using this brain that
Hmm.
God's given me to where people, even now, I just did an ad for Invisalign where they wanted me to use my gift of humor. They were looking specifically for creators that can be create stuff in a funny way because they know that if something can make someone laugh, people are
Hmm.
more likely to share it and view it. So I
Hmm.
have that advantage. So if I would have stopped doing my comedy to be more like the typical beauty influence into more poised, I probably wouldn't have gotten that opportunity.
Hmm.
So all I say is, please, all I can do is be myself. I just, if you don't like, it's okay. Just manage. I want to always present myself, and I feel like other upcoming creators should really tap into who are you naturally, what comes to you
Naturally.
naturally,
Hmm.
and then with that, be consistent.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have to be. You can use okay. You can't say I want to be a content creator. You post one day, then you don't post it until December 29th. Be consistent. It does not mean that you make social media your idol and you can't stay off of it because even me too. Sometimes I take break. Even today, I'm not gonna be on until maybe the evening time because my goal is to be productive, and so
Hmm.
I want to maximize my time. But be consistent and do things with excellence and keep putting your stuff out there. Don't despise the days of small beginning because I'm telling you
Hmm.
it's almost like everything you put out there is like an investment.
Hmm.
You just and one day is gonna stick. And sometimes it's not even about the quantity of views, but it's the quality. Because I believe there was a story where this guy was putting stuff on YouTube. Maybe it would have like 12 views, 13, and he didn't know one of those views was Oprah Winfrey, and she was able to bring him on his show.
Oh,
So just
wow.
keep betting on yourself and putting yourself out there, and yeah.
Wow, thank you, thank you. You know,
Yeah.
she talks about being your authentic self because you
Mhm.
have your own natural inclination, you have your own natural talent and ability, something that you do without stress. And like she was saying, no, people may want to pressure you into certain things, but you have to know yourself. You know yourself better than anybody, and you know that certain ways in certain area you can flow even without much preparation and all of that. Just say, be your authentic self. Don't try to be other people, be somebody else, but you know this what you can do. So you know your strength. So once you are aware of that and just being your authentic self, and then she talks about, being consistent, being consistent. If this is what you want to do, then you have to give it time. Consistency, consistency, and don't be discouraged when you're not getting the result right away. Don't be discouraged, but continue to do it, continue to put yourself there, and before you know it, one of the things to do is just going to open door. And I think that's what I have seen when you look at all these artists or these singers. Some of them have been singing for a long time, and then all of a sudden they just release a song, and it's like everybody just get it, and then you go and look and be like, they have been singing 10 years.
Yeah. Mhm. Looking to add value as well. That's one thing. Like, are you adding value to someone's life? And sometimes, again, you can be so worried about all millions of views, but sometimes if you get 10 views, those are 10 people's lives that you're touching and you're adding value to their life. So always ask yourself, how am I adding value to someone's life?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Adding values to someone's life.
Mhm.
Don't just be looking at just the numbers alone, but each person that is taking time to digest your content, taking time to look into what you're doing, their life is being changed, transformed one way or the other. And you don't know the particular person you are saving at a time. All right. So as before we wrap up, I just really want you to give your free advice. Just pump the women out there. Just pump them up, how they can actually take their career to the next level. What is it they need to be focusing on? How to package themselves, whatever, just kind of release and just, preach to the choir now, I would say.
Yeah, it's pretty much, kind of like what I reiterated first, always be take care of your vessel. I'm very big on that. Take care of your vessel because you can't show up your best self if your body is, your hormones are out of whack, you're
Hmm.
exhausted, you're not properly taking care of your vessel. So make sure you take care of that. You're eating right, you're making time to, even if it's just take a walk and de-stress, do that. Again, find out what it is, what it is that you naturally love to do. And then also make sure that you find good community and you have like 2 or 3 people in your life that have your best interest at heart that you can, confide in, maybe if it's a church community or whatever that may be. And then also making sure that, again, you bet on yourself. And again, I would say that if you are someone who is a believer, really having God in the center of whatever you do, again, that this walk is not easy, but really seeking God's face, like, okay, God, you've put this desire in me to create. What would you like me to create? Or what am I good at? Can you show me my gifts? Can you do this? And then, using that to kind of shape how you present yourself on social media or whatever avenue you want to go on. And so just always adding value to people's lives and seeing how you can better the lives of those around you, whether it's on social media or the people that are directly connected to you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. She talks about take care of the vessel. Wow.
Yes.
Because I think that is a big thing, if you don't take care of yourself, you are not in the right frame of mind, then you will not be able to deliver, So she talks about taking care of that first. That is like the #1 priority. Because if you are good, everything that is coming out of you is going to be affecting lives, positively one way or the other. But if you are so down, like if the energy is not there, and that is what is going to be vibing out of you. So take care of yourself first. Yes. Have the right mind mentally, clear yourself, change whatever it is that let your mind be right. Take care of that. And then from that, we have the strength, we have the energy to be able to do all the things that you need to do. And she talks about find the right community. And I think that is a big thing, especially for women. If you are in a community where people don't believe in your dream, where they don't believe in what you have to offer, be open. Yeah, I think being part of a good community is really going to help, because sometimes we not even have the strength or the energy. But then when you have people cheering you on, motivating and inspiring you, is going to help you, even when the journey is a little bit rough, when you're not getting the result right away. That is going to fuel you and keeps you going. Oh my goodness. So as we wrap up, I really want to thank you. I really want to thank you for your time today. I know you're a busy person. Today is one of your days that you do a lot of productive stuff, but then you're still able to carve out some time to be able to just share with us and to inspire, the people out there. All right. So as we wrap up, so what I want you to just kind of leave us with like things you want us to know you for moving forward from here. You were a stylist before, now a host, MC, doing different things, so what do you want people to really know you for moving on from here?
Just say someone who just authentically herself and who creates, who adds joy to people's lives, through laughter. And then also I'm doing a little bit more traveling now because I really would like to encourage people to really explore. I feel like travel is just the best teacher, because sometimes you see that there's a lot of ignorance because people don't venture out from their hometown. And so traveling, I mean, I'm going to make my 20th country in like a few months.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
I love culture and things like that. So I made a new travel page, International Slay Mama. That's INTL.Slay Mama. Okay. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of my journey with people. So it's a little bit different from my regular page, but comedy will still be there because that's just who I am. And so I'll just share more tips and tricks. But yeah, just someone who's authentically herself. If they want to connect with me on social media, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, the same name, Beverly Adaeze.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. We are truly grateful. We say big thank you from all of us here at the Achievers. So we say thank you for your time. We are very grateful.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.